Seeds of partnership. We acknowledge your transition from solitary seekers to a singular powerhouse. There is a profound alchemy when two sovereign individuals cease wandering the periphery of their own potential and choose to collide. You have moved past the era of isolated striving. By merging your distinct fires, you have forged a unified front, a singular, formidable powerhouse that no longer asks for permission to occupy space, but instead commands it. True alignment is a rare celestial event. Most unions are born of convenience, proximity, or trauma bonds. Yours is not. True alignment requires a rare, precise configuration of shared vision, mutual respect, and spiritual maturity. It is a celestial anomaly when two forces, capable of commanding worlds on their own, find a frequency that amplifies rather than diminishes their individual light. This spark is your cosmic mandate. Romance without practical execution is merely a phantom. Sentimentality alone cannot build an empire. While the emotional and spiritual bond between you is vast, it remains a ghost until it is anchored into the physical world through strategy, discipline, and daily execution. You understand that love is an active, structural force. It requires architectural precision, turning shared dreams into brick, mortar, contracts, and unbreakable daily habits. Your shared truth has already shattered early illusions. Before this expansion could begin, the false constructs of the past had to burn. Together, you have looked directly at the comfortable lies, societal expectations, and early relationship illusions that cause lesser unions to fail. Your weapon has been an unyielding, radical honesty. By speaking and living your shared truth, you have already dismantled the conditioning that once sought to limit your trajectory. The kingdom recognizes your union as an unshakable foundation. Let it be known across all realms of your life, creative, financial, and spiritual, that this bond is absolute. The universe recognizes this union not as a fleeting alliance, but as a foundational monolith. From this bedrock forward, every endeavor you touch will be anchored by an immovable stability. You are no longer easily shaken. You are the ground upon which the future is built. Defense of joy. We have witnessed your vigilance and the heavy armor you bear from past battles. You did not arrive at this high place by accident or through unearned luck. Your history is etched with conflicts, betrayals, and environments that forced you to become your own protectors. We honor the weight of the armor you carry. It was forged in fires that were meant to consume you, yet you stand. Your hypervigilance is a sacred shield, not a flaw. The modern world often pathologizes self-protection, calling it a deficit. We call it wisdom. Your hypervigilance is not a broken coping mechanism. It is a finely tuned, sacred shield. It is the instinctual awareness that knows exactly how to read a room, anticipate threats, and evaluate intent. Do not apologize for your awareness. It has kept your spark alive through the darkest winters. Joy is a finite resource that requires absolute defense. Peace, creativity, and deep joy are not infinite, self-sustaining luxuries. They are precious, finite resources that must be fiercely guarded. If you leave the gates open, the world will drain your reservoir to feed its own chaos. Your boundaries are not walls built out of hatred for the outside world. They are the necessary parameters built out of an absolute reverence for your inner peace. Your refusal to tolerate misaligned energy protects the collective. Your intolerance for superficiality, manipulation, or stagnant energy is your greatest act of stewardship. By saying an immediate, uncompromised, no, to people and spaces that do not mirror your high frequency, you create a pristine sanctuary. This sanctuary protects not just the two of you, but the entire scope of your collective mission, keeping your vision untainted. Stand firm at the gates. A throne is nothing without a safe kingdom. Hold the line without guilt. Let your boundaries be absolute and your discernment sharp. Power without safety is merely a tragedy waiting to happen. A throne means nothing if the sovereign must sleep with a dagger in hand. We decree your right to absolute peace within your walls. Command your borders, filter your gates, and ensure your kingdom remains an inviolable sanctuary. Legacy and abundance. We see the final threshold where material wealth meets the ghosts of your past. You stand at the precipice of true, generational scale. Yet, the final barrier to this ultimate expansion is never external. It is the lingering, phantom whispers of scarcity, unworthiness, and smallness that were handed down to you by previous generations. Childhood programming cannot survive where empire begins. The survival metrics of your youth are entirely inadequate for the scale of your future. The rules of scarcity, caution, and shrinking to fit into small rooms cannot cross this threshold. To build an empire, you must willingly outgrow the very psychological frameworks that kept you safe as children. Leave the old survival guides behind. They are too small for where you are going. Logic has limits. Only deep emotional maturity breaks the stalemate. Spreadsheets, contracts, and hyper-rational strategy can only take you to the edge of the map. When facing the highest levels of abundance, cold logic often creates a stalemate, looping in familiar patterns of control. Breaking through requires a profound, terrifying shift into emotional maturity, the willingness to trust, to receive without panic, and to let go of the need to micromanage the universe. Intuition is the final key to unlocking the ancestral floodgates. The ultimate wealth you are tapping into is not merely financial, it is an ancestral inheritance of wisdom, power, and raw creative force. This floodgate cannot be pried open by force. It responds only to the key of deep intuition. When you tune into your collective gut instinct, you bypass human delays. You tap directly into a river of abundance that has been waiting generations to pour through you. Step into your ultimate expansion. Your lineage is now unbreakable. The cycle of generational lack, emotional poverty, and recurring trauma stops permanently with you. We decree the absolute dissolution of the old ancestral debts. Step forward into your limitless expansion with your heads held high. The line behind you is healed. The line ahead of you is clear, protected, and phenomenally wealthy. Your lineage is now unbreakable. The eternal blessing. Go forth and rule. You have successfully synthesized raw emotional alignment into an unassailable generational empire. The material wealth is yours. It will flow as a natural, inevitable consequence of your internal alignment. But never forget that the material is merely the reflection. The true crown you wear is your hard-won emotional maturity, your unyielding truth, and your absolute sovereignty. The world is yours to shape.